Before there were cities, before history was written, there was prehistory, a vast span of time, millions of years long, where the story of humanity unfolded without a single word on a page. Prehistory refers to the time before written records, before humans began documenting their lives. It stretches from the first appearance of our ancient ancestors to the invention of writing around 5,000 years ago. But in that silence, a different kind of story exists, written not in ink, but in fossils, bones, tools, and stone. The earliest chapter belongs to early hominins, our distant ancestors. The oldest known hominin fossils date back over 6 million years. One of the most famous is Australopithecus afarensis, whose skeleton, nicknamed Lucy, was discovered in Ethiopia. She walked upright over 3 million years ago, a key step in our evolutionary path. Around 2.5 million years ago, the Stone Age begins. Early humans began crafting tools, simple stone flakes and sharp-edged hand axes. This marked the Paleolithic, or Old Stone Age. These tools weren't just for survival. They were signs of intelligence, adaptation, and planning. By 1.8 million years ago, Homo erectus emerged. Taller, with a larger brain and capable of using fire, this species spread from Africa into Asia and Europe. Fire changed everything. It brought warmth, protection, and the ability to cook food, unlocking nutrients and shrinking the time needed for digestion. Then came the Neanderthals, Homo neanderthalensis, evolving in Europe and Asia. Stocky, strong, and intelligent, they made sophisticated tools, buried their dead, and may have even created symbolic art. For tens of thousands of years, they coexisted, sometimes even interbred, with our own species, Homo sapiens. Modern humans, Homo sapiens, first appeared around 300,000 years ago in Africa. By 70,000 years ago, they began migrating across the globe, into Europe, Asia, Australia, and eventually the Americas. With them came language, art, and culture. Evidence from this time shows cave paintings in France and Spain, carved figurines, and musical instruments like bone flutes. The transition from the Paleolithic to the Neolithic, the New Stone Age, marked one of the most radical shifts in human history: the agricultural revolution. Around 10,000 years ago, in places like the Fertile Crescent, people began domesticating plants and animals. Grains like wheat and barley, and animals like sheep and goats, were no longer hunted or gathered. They were farmed. With farming came permanent settlements. Villages formed, then towns. People stored surplus food, traded goods, and developed specialized roles: farmers, potters, toolmakers. Technology advanced: pottery, weaving, polished stone tools. And soon after came one of the most important inventions in human history: writing. Writing marked the end of prehistory and the beginning of recorded history, around 3200 BCE in Mesopotamia. But by then, humans had already shaped the landscape, domesticated animals, constructed monuments, and built belief systems to explain the world around them. Prehistoric times were not primitive. They were the foundation of everything. The way we live, speak, organize, and think all began in those distant, undocumented ages. The legacy of prehistory is all around us, in the tools we use, in the foods we grow, in the languages we speak, and in the bones of our ancestors, still buried in the earth beneath our feet. Before books, before kings, before borders, there were people: hunters, gatherers, builders, thinkers, dreamers, and their story is not forgotten. It's written in stone.